Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of StormCast. I am Joey Pisani, your host here in EWVHQ in Atlanta, Georgia. On the StormCast tonight with us is Dan Cloene from up in Wisconsin. How are you doing tonight, Dan?
Good evening. We got snow coming down. We'll talk about that some more.
Awesome. And also joining us from Iowa is Jesse. How are you doing tonight, Jesse?
Doing good and cold.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a cold night. So let's kind of jump right into it here. Winter Storm Maya is our topic for tonight on StormCast. Great to have everyone here on the StormCast with us this evening. Let's jump right into our current winter storm watches, warnings, and advisories. So this is kind of what we're looking at here. It's going to be pretty much affecting portions of the Midwest and then getting into the Northeast as we get into the day tomorrow. Now, overnight tonight through the early morning, it's definitely going to be affecting pretty much portions of Iowa, eastern half of Iowa, and into Wisconsin and northern parts of Michigan. Dan and Jesse are going to fill us in on what's going on right now here in just a moment. But we also do have a mesoscale discussion that was put out here for portions of Rockford, Illinois, the northern Illinois portion, because this isn't only a snowmaker, it's also causing some freezing rain and sleet that's going to be possible in these areas here through about 5 a.m. So some places could get a good bit of freezing rain, but the main thing here with this is going to be the snow. So Dan's got his radar pulled up here. So I'm going to let him and Jess kind of talk about what they've got going on in their areas. So Jesse, you've had snow coming down here since this afternoon. So what's going on there in Iowa?
Well, right now we've got about a good 4.5 inches of snow. It's been snowing here since about 3 o'clock this afternoon. The 4 inches was reported in the downtown metro area of Cedar Rapids. 4 inches down by Iowa City. Waterloo has already received a total of 2.5 inches. So it just kind of varies on where you're at. For snowfall totals right now, you're looking at higher numbers up by Waterloo, Cedar Falls, Highway 20 North, and then 1 to 3 inches south of, anywhere from 1 to 6 inches all the way down from Interstate 80 and south of there.
Yeah, it looks like 6 to 9 inches up where you're at is what you're expecting, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, it looks like Northeast Iowa, they're really getting the heaviest snowfall totals expected. And looking at the radar there, you can really see some of those heavier snow bands just south of Dubuque, Iowa, over toward Monticello and Cascade. Those areas really starting to get in some of the heavy snow, and that's going to continue to push off to the Northeast through the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning. And all of this is going to be slowly making its way up into Wisconsin as well. It's not just Iowa. Yeah, Iowa's definitely going to be seeing some heavy snow, especially in Northeast Iowa. But even up there in Wisconsin, Dan, I mean, what are you guys expecting there in Wisconsin?
For my area, points to the far southeast, not as much as to the north and to my northwest, as we have a really nice graphic coming up here in just a moment that'll show that. But as you can see, all the way from Illinois, it's making its way north and northeast, and more areas are now starting to see some snowfall. Milwaukee is starting to see some snowfall just within about the last hour or so. Over in my area, which is further south towards the border, we started seeing snow closer to about 6 o'clock, so it's slowly making its way north. We had some heavier bands come through a little bit earlier. We're not expecting to see those real high snowfall rates continue through the entire night. But most of this snow expected to last through, I'd say, about tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, as this storm makes its way through.
Yep, and looking at this forecast map here, this is through 10 a.m. Eastern time, which would be 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So just like Dan was saying, you can see there really northeast Iowa into west central and southwest Wisconsin there, some of the heaviest snowfall totals expected. And then a little bit of potential some heavier snowfall totals there north of Milwaukee along the lake there, but not seeing a whole lot of lake-enhanced snowfall with this system with the low being so far south.
Yeah, and as you can see, as you pointed out there, central, east, west central Wisconsin, that's going to be like Eau Claire over through about Stevens Point area or so. As you'll see here in a moment, all of that area under a winter storm warning until midnight tomorrow night. So some of those areas could see snow up to 12 inches of snow, potentially some higher amounts locally in some isolated spots. As you can see down to the southeast, you'll have the least amount of snow. You're looking at about 4 to 6. That's where our winter weather advisories are. And with the exception of Milwaukee County, Racine, Kenosha, Walworth, Waukesha, I believe the remaining counties to the north and to the west of that will be under that winter storm warning. Higher amounts of snow as you go further north and further west. As you can see, snow starts to pick up. You're looking at 6 to 8 inches near Madison, more as you move north towards Juneau, up to Sheboygan, and then even more of that further west. Dells, the Wisconsin Dells, could see up to a foot of snow, and then potentially even more north of that yet, as you'll see in a second. Timeline goes, just about all of southeast Wisconsin should be experiencing snow now at this point, with the exception of maybe Sheboygan, just north of Ozaukee County there along the lake. You should start to be seeing snow very soon, as you saw on the radar just a moment ago. It's making its way from the south to the north as it moves its way across.
Yep. And again, so, I mean, by the time it's all said and done there, like you're saying, some places possibly over a foot, maybe up near 12 to 14 inches there in Wisconsin. And then we'll eventually, tomorrow afternoon, we'll transition from the Midwest into the Northeast. We'll definitely keep you guys updated as to what we are expecting with Northeast impacts as we get them. But definitely, if you guys are living in the Midwest, you guys are in for a long night. Could be a rough commute tomorrow morning. I mean, what are you guys expecting commute-wise there as we wrap this up here?
Yeah, I would definitely plan ahead early, leave sooner than you normally would. Around my area, again, between that 4 to 6 inches amounts, that's doable. Hopefully the plows will be able to keep up with most of that overnight, but certainly if you're in any of those counties that are under the winter storm warning, you could see quite a bit more snow than we're going to get here in the southeast. So I would definitely plan on a late start and drive slow, be careful, take your time, leave plenty of distance.
Awesome. What about you, Jess? What are you guys expecting there in your area for the morning?
They're already talking about roads being slick, and the plows will be out all through the night to get the streets clear as best as possible. And please check your local news channels for school closings and street conditions, because I know that our schools are already starting to close down for tomorrow here.
Awesome. Well, that's going to do it here for us. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget, you can subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. If you would like to support our channel so we can continue to improve our content while you experience the extreme, you can do so using PayPal. The link is going to be in the description. For those who are unable, you can still support us by subscribing. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. We also invite you to leave suggestions in the comments below for topics that you want to see us discuss in the future. By hitting that notification bell, you can also receive the most updated weather information as soon as possible. Again, thank you so much for joining on this episode, and we guys will see you next time on StormCast. Have a great evening.